Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, we are getting the results of a new study on how often to screen for that disease. It suggests that testing can be done less often than current recommendations without compromising your health. The catch? You need to have received the HPV vaccine.
The researchers used a computer simulation. They followed millions of imaginary women over their lifetimes to see what happened when screening started later, happened less often, or happened more often. If you were vaccinated against HPV, especially at a young age, you may not need cervical cancer screening as often. Fewer tests could keep women safe while avoiding extra procedures, stress, and cost.
That's CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder. The human papillomavirus is transmitted sexually, and so receiving the vaccine prior to becoming sexually active can help ward off a level of infection that could lead to cancer. The study is published in the journal Annals of Internal Medicine. He said, she said between Halle Berry and Gavin Newsom. Berry again criticizing the California governor for vetoing the Menopause Care Equity Act for a second year in a row. She also says he never reached out following her initial criticism, but he tells TMZ he's included a menopause plan in his new budget and that she just wasn't aware of that. Indeed, Newsom has a plan that, among other things, would require certain health plans to cover FDA-approved treatments for menopause and perimenopause in California. Halle Berry has been an outspoken advocate for legislation that supports women's health care. Newsom's office says he vetoed the Menopause Care Equity Act because it would have unintentionally raised health care costs for millions of working women. There is a verdict now in the case of a Virginia man charged in an elaborate plot to get rid of his wife so he could be with a nanny. Police say it involved luring a man he catfished on a fetish website to his home so he could frame the guy for the wife's murder.
Brendan Robert Banfield, defendant, find the defendant guilty of aggravated murder of Joseph Ryan and Christine Banfield as part of the same act or transaction.
Brandon Banfield told police he came across Joseph Ryan attacking his wife with a knife in 2023. The then IRS law enforcement officer shot Ryan. Then the au pair shot him as well. Prosecutors say the pair used a fake social media account to lure Ryan to the house to frame him for Christine Banfield's murder. Banfield also admitted to having other affairs. The jury deliberated nearly 9 hours before reaching a guilty verdict. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Why does it matter to members that Aetna was named a Best Medicare Advantage company by U.S. News and World Report? Because they chose a plan that gives them real support, real people, and real care. We show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when needed. We show up with access to convenient care options and coverage that fits everyday life. We don't show up for awards. We show up for you. And showing up for you is how healthier happens together.
Does Dad have mesothelioma? It's time to hire the right law firm. The law firm with $13 billion in settlements and verdicts for mesothelioma survivors, including a record-breaking $117 million individual verdict. The firm is Whites in Luxembourg, with an army of 500 specialists fighting for people just like your dad or mom. Your dad deserves Whites in Luxembourg. Dial 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Attorney Advertising.
Your city, your news, your station. 1010 wins at 92.3 FM.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 wins on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning, 24 degrees. It is 7:20 on this Tuesday, February 3rd. I'm Susan Richard. Here's what's happening. Still no sign of Nancy Guthrie after officials in Tucson now say the mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie appears to have been abducted from her home. At 3333 Broadway in Harlem,
we are waiting for building management to produce a plan on how to treat the water.
That's after 2 people in that building got Legionnaire's disease. Just days before work could stop, the Gateway Development Commission sues the feds for breach of contract in the Gateway Tunnel project. Some tough talk now from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to Iran. We'll tell you what he's saying. And despite the bling, couple of Sunday night's Grammy winners shoot down engagement rumors. In sports, Islanders lost to Washington 4-1. AccuWeather, mixed clouds and sun today, 35 degrees. Winds News Time 7:21. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Karen Stewart.
As we check what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels, that outbound George is still a relentless 40 minutes from the Cross Bronx westbound. And all of that Cross Bronx volume is backing up the southbound side of the Major Deegan Expressway all the way almost to Cross County. Take the Henry Hudson Parkway to the outbound George instead. The inbound George is 35 minutes now. From the Palisades, it's only 15. The inbound Lincoln is 30 and the Holland is 45 from the Skyway and 30 from the Newark Bay Extension. Here in the city, northbound FDR Drive at 105th. Disabled van still out there on the right. The delay only goes back a few blocks, but you can use First Avenue if you're interested. Meanwhile, Staten Islanders southbound West Shore at South Avenue, overturned vehicle. All lanes on the exit ramp to South Avenue continue to be blocked. And as we check what we see on Long Island's Big 3, westbound Southern State at 43A, we have a disabled vehicle blocking the entrance ramp. Northern State with some traffic around Wantagh Parkway with the westbound LIE delayed to 39 and again out into the Queens line. Traffic is sponsored by Cars for Kids. Karen Stewart, 1010 wins at 92.3 FM.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call now, 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go to carsforkids.com. That's Cars with a K.
The Tucson, Arizona home of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie is now considered a crime scene. She is the mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, who police believe was abducted from her home early Sunday morning.
Savannah Guthrie was scheduled to depart for Italy this week to co-host the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics. She flew to Arizona to be with her family.
How is the Guthrie family doing? I know you've been in contact with them.
They're pretty devastated. They just want their mom home.
In a statement, Guthrie thanked well-wishers for messages of support and said her family's focus now is on finding our dear mom.
That's correspondent Gwen Baumgartner. The family says the 84-year-old is as sharp as a tack, so this is not an incident involving dementia. She does have some physical ailments that, if gone unmedicated, within 24 hours could be fatal. She was last seen by family members Saturday night. They got a call Sunday morning when she didn't show up to church. Relatives say they're unaware of any threats having been made. In a statement, NBC Universal said they're working closely with local law enforcement. The NYPD is out with a new round of crime stats. Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch says the numbers show last month was the safest January ever in New York City. Murders down 60%, shootings down 20%. Both Manhattan and Staten Island went the entire month without a single homicide.
I attribute a lot of the success that we've had in terms of reducing crime to our precision policing strategy and the cops' brilliant execution of that strategy.
Overall, major crime dropped nearly 7%. Burglaries, robberies, shoplifting also falling. On the flip side, transit crime was up 6%, as were the number of reported rapes. More cases of Legionnaire's disease in a building in Harlem.
With the weather we've been having lately, this is the last thing you want to hear.
You do not want to use warm water. You want to use cold water.
That from Councilmember Sean Abreu after 2 people got Legionnaire's and the bacteria was found in the water at 3333 Broadway. Jose's kids live here.
We heard that the spray of the hot water is the one that actually transmits the Legionnaire disease. I buy water for my kids.
That's the alternative if you don't want to use the building's water. Councilmember Abreu.
We are waiting for building management to produce a plan on how to treat the water, which I'm told can take a while.
Mac Rosenberg, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in West Harlem.
The Gateway Development Commission now suing the Trump administration over the Hudson River Tunnel project. The president, as you know, pulled billions in congressionally approved federal funding for this. And unless that changes, work will stop on Friday. The president says the money's canceled because of New York's DEI and immigration policies. The lawsuit argues the government is in breach of contract. Well, they might have said this to him.
Sit on it, Fonzie.
Yeah, but actor Anson Williams, who played Potsy Weber on Happy Days and went on to become a big-time TV director, says he thinks that show saved thousands of lives. In a recent Facebook post, he writes that his uncle is none other than Dr. Henry Heimlich, the creator of the anti-choking procedure. It was because of his ties to Williams that led to his appearance on the Merv Griffin Show, where he demonstrated that move. Well, 3 weeks later, he was booked on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. He says at that point, everyone knew the Heimlich maneuver. Now Bloomberg Money Watch and Courtney Donahoe.
Susan, Pepsi is cutting prices by as much as 15% in some of its key brands, including Lay's and Doritos, while keeping sizes the same. The snacks and beverages giant is hoping this will lift sales by offering more affordable products. The company reported better than expected quarterly earnings. Yesterday, we got a report that showed manufacturing activity in the U.S. expanded at the fastest pace in 4 years. Stocks finished the day higher, and this morning, S&P futures building on those gains, rising 14 points. I'm Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Hey, it's John Gallucci Jr., President and CEO at JAG Physical Therapy. It's hockey season, and your little pros get big injuries too. Parents, play it safe. If your son and daughter sustain an injury, JAG Physical Therapy is prepared. Our licensed physical therapists, occupational therapists, and certified athletic trainers treat you at our state-of-the-art facilities. Our physical therapists are certified to treat all sports injuries, from youth leagues to the big leagues. Injuries can happen to anyone, and it's important that you get treated right away. We are an in-network provider with most insurance companies, including Medicare. When you get injured, we're ready at JAG Physical Therapy, and we look forward to cheering you on from the sidelines.
JAG is the only outpatient physical therapy and occupational therapy provider that serves the 5 boroughs, Long Island, Rockland, Westchester, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Schedule your visit today at jagpt.com. That's JAGPT.com.
Get back the life you love at JAG Physical Therapy.
Good morning. Susan Richard here with this message from Barish and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community. More than 2 decades after the federal government said the air was